Now time for the 20th and final race of the 2024 BNL Karting Series kickoff. It's the Senior Rotax Final. Here is your starting grid. On pole position, it's Macaulay Bishop. Alongside him, his teammate from Dan Holland Racing, Jaden Teen. Tommy van der Stroys and Lawrence Herboz round out row 2, with Luca Thiel and Sverre Ubben on row 3. Mika van der Pavert will be on the inside of row 4 alongside Wood Kirstens. Completing the top 10, it's Ralph van der Pavert and Mateja Radenkovic. Enzo Ball and Sebastian Koch will be on row 6. Tom Langlois and Scott Westhovens, row 7. Vincent van Kerkhoffen, Kevin Navis, Ivar Adagnostiidis, Jasper Leenerts, Jori Schoens and Jake Bezelbeck round out the top 20. Bram Plomp, Giorgio Markenstein, Lloyd Hare, Alexandre Lemaire-Sicre, Dante Sima, Robbie Stauder, Park Gubbles, Freddie Ingram, Daniel Stahl, Baptiste Michadier, Martin Gaiskens, Adish Mehta, and Manolo Sandan. Shout out to Sanad Shanak, who's actually here in person. So he's already made the trip over as well for Biralat Middle East. So good to have a quick catch up with him earlier on today. But that is your grid for the Senior Rotax Kickoff Final. The red lights are ignited on the starting gantry for the final race of this weekend. So it's down to the two DHR teammates, Bishop and Teen, to control the pace on the front row. Revs rise. That's a full start straight away. They're going to send him around for another tour of the circuit. So thereby, it's a full reset. The timer's being reset to 14 minutes. The red lights are back on the starting gantry. Ignited once again. So the drivers have a second chance to get the race start correct. Otherwise, it will be under a red flag situation. And as quickly as the rain has faded away, we have sunshine bathing the circuit. The drivers quickly get into formation as the leaders lead the field around the 12th and final corner into the tram lines. Revs rise, lights are on, lights are out. The Senior Rotax kickoff final is underway and Macaulay Bishop leads the field into turns 1 and 2. Tommy van der Stroy is looking to try and get up the inside. And there's going to be a change. Jaden Thien hits the front, but Macaulay Bishop pins it round the outside through at turn 4. Can't get through. As we've already got one on top of the other, and that is the 370. And also, that is a Racing Evolution kart as well. So the 370 Dante Sima, and along with that is the 341 of Lloyd Hare from the UK. Lloyd Hare found himself over the front Nassau panel of Dante Sima, but it is Jaden Teen leading the way. Second, Macaulay Bishop. Third, Tommy van der Stroys. Then Luca Thiel in fourth. Into turn 12 for the first time. Attempted move by Sverre Ubben up the inside of Lawrence Herboz. Did he get through? Yeah, I think he did. Yes, he did actually get through on Wout Kirstens. Well, Ralph van der Pavert up 2 places to P7. His younger brother Mika now up to P5. and they're starting to chase the top 3 down. Now, these 3 had literally broken away from the rest of the field. Now Van der Stroy is trying to give Macaulay Bishop the hurry up to close on in on Jaden Teen, but there's still plenty to go in this race. 12.5 minutes plus 1 additional lap. So Lloyd Hare and Dante Sima have both dropped to the tail end of the field, but Luca Thiel in the number 399 is not that far behind them. About 4/10 last time we crossed the line. As the field filters its way down into turn number 12 as we complete lap number 2. Jaden Teen, what's his lead at the moment? It's just under 2/10. And a fastest lap of the race by the driver in 5th. Mika van der Pavet is now up into 4th. He got through on Luca Thiel. And Sverre Ubben also got through to the 346 from GK Slemens Power. But Van der Stroy just keeping in the wheel tracks of Macaulay Bishop. Just following his lead. As the 2 are 3rd and 2nd respectively. Jaden Teen at the minute at the sharp end of the field, leading the way. So this is going to be crucial over the next 11 minutes, 20 seconds, plus an additional lap. But the gap is still 3/10 between the top 3. It's very, very crucial indeed that these drivers keep mechanical sympathy and strategy in mind. Those are the 2 main factors, along with having rocket ship style pace. Fastest lap of the race so far, Mateo Denkovic, who is currently sitting in 14th place. This is an absolute scramble for 4th backwards. Is that brother on brother? Yes, it is. It's Mika and Ralph van der Pavet side by side through turn 7. And Ralph loses out to Wout Kirstens in the 366 in the process. There's Luca Thiel, there's Lawrence Herbos. That's Enzo Boll in that mix as well. And now, up the inside on Wout Kirstens. Oh, my goodness me. Ralph van der Pavet tries to go around the outside of Wout Kirstens through at turn number 11. Got through on his brother, but didn't manage to get through on the 366. And now Mika responds up the inside. There's Lawrence Herbos. He gets through on Ralph and then gets through on Mika van der Pavet. Down onto the start, finish straight through turn number 12. And they are still battling away. The brothers again nearly side by side. As Ralph van der Pavet hung to dry on the outside through turns 3 and 4. And then up the inside of him goes the 353, Scott Westhovens. And who's that behind? I think that might have been Freddie Ingram in the 369 for KR Sports. And Freddie Ingram has made up 16 places. He started 28th on the grid. He's now P12 and climbing the order significantly. So he's a spot or 2 away from getting into the top 10. Move up the inside on Ralph van der Pavet. That was Mateo Denkovic through. Top 3 still as they were. Teen, Bishop, Van der Stroy. 89,000 separating 1st and 2nd. And Freddie Ingram now hits the top 10. There's been a little bit of a drop for Kevin Navis, who rounds out the top 20 ahead of Vincent van Kerkhoffen. Giorgio Markenstein might have had a drama in his own right, and so has Baptiste Michaudière. So the Dutch driver and the French driver are tumbling down the order. They might be out of the race, but it still is nip and tuck between these 3 drivers at the front end of the field. Nevertheless, at the front end of the field, it is going to be very, very close indeed. They were literally inseparable in the superheat earlier on this morning. And now they are battling tooth and nail over the prestigious honour of becoming BNL Karting Series kickoff champion in senior Rotax for 2024. Freddie Ingram now up into 9th. That is an incredible pace from the KR Sport drivers. Now we've had a change. Bishop takes the lead, Van der Stroy's in 2nd, and Jaden Teen demoted to P3. Giorgio Markenstein out of the race, I'm afraid, on lap number 4. Baptiste Michaudier might have been the other party involved if there was an incident between the pair. But now Van der Stroys trying to put the pressure on Bishop. And it's very difficult to force Macaulay Bishop into an unforced error. The slightest mistake by any one of these three drivers will cost them the opportunity to be on the top step of the podium just in a few in about just over half an hour's time or so. Mika van der Pavert gets passed by Lawrence Herboz, whereas Freddie Ingram's just been passed for 9th. And there's the change for the race lead. Van der Stroy's through on Macaulay Bishop at turn 6. And now Bishop's going to fire it back up the inside. Retakes the lead off of the Europelan at turn 7 at the chicane. So Van der Stroys is the Bouvin Power meat in a Dan Holland Racing sandwich right now. And the gloves are starting to come off now. I can sense it in the driving. I can see it in the driving and the body language of these three competitors. Van der Stroys was looking to possibly go for a move on Macaulay Bishop a little bit later on in the lap after Bishop retook the lead through turn 7 off of the Europelan. We're over the halfway point of this race, and still the top three, they have broken away. They are clear and far away from the rest of the opposition. Sverre Ubben in the 3-4-6 now rounds out the top 4. Wout Kirstens, Lawrence Herboz, Mika van der Pavert, Scott Westhovens, Matej Radankovic and Freddie Ingram are now rounding out the top 10. Robbie Stauder, in the meantime, is also making moves up the order, up 14 places from 26th and is now 12th, and is 2 places away from the top 10. Baptiste Michaudier now retires from the race as Van der Stroys launches up the inside, went sideways as he rotated the kart through turn 12. He not only lost the opportunity to lead the race, but he's just handed it on a silver platter to Jaden Teen, who on the start of lap 9, lap 10, retakes the race lead and has a gap of about 3 and a bit tenths of a second between himself and Macaulay Bishop. Scott Westhovens now drops behind Matej Radankovic as the 333 has got past the 353 for 8th place. Luca Thiel, well, a bit of a shame for the German driver in the 399. He's now rounding out the top 15. He's been closed in on by Jasper Leenerts. Tom Longois rounds out 17th. 18th, it's Joris Schoens, Eva Anagnostiidis, and Vincent van Kouwkoffen round out the top 20. Just under 5 minutes to go. And it was only going to be a case that one driver was going to make a move, and whether it was going to work out or not was another side to the story. But that person was Tommy van der Stroys. He went for the move, he went for the lead through turn 12 and got a little bit caught out, compromised himself inadvertently, and Jaden Thien was there to pick up the pieces and take the race lead. So here is the battle. Well, that's a great little move there on Mika van der Pavert by Matej Radankovic. Lawrence Herboz just up ahead in the 398. So this is a battle for 6th, 7th and 8th. We still have 4 minutes plus an additional lap still to go. Right. Well, there's a kart that's just gone off the circuit. I'm wondering if that's Aidish Mehta, who might have just pulled into pit lane. Lloyd Hare is also from Racing Evolution, looks to have retired on lap 9. But Jaden Teen has nearly a half-second advantage over Macaulay Bishop. Tommy van der Stroys continues to run in 3rd place, less than 8 tenths of a second between them. But that move that Tommy van der Stroys did a couple of laps ago, that might have very much decided the outcome of this race. But the unpredictability of senior Rotax can be factored in at the snap of her fingers without a moment's hesitation. Fastest lap of the race now goes to Joris Schoens, and now it's gone to van der Stroys. who will see how much time is on the digi flag as he comes across the start-finish line. New fastest lap by the 301 from the Netherlands, 54.736. Gap between first, second and third now just over 0.7 of a second. We have 2.5 minutes to go. And as I said, these three were the odds-on favourites to go for the race win and go for the title of kickoff champion for 2024. Jaden Teen has had a lot of success recently, most notably the Rotax Max Challenge, Winter Cup at Karting Campilos just a handful of weeks ago. So pick a winner between these three. 0.6 separate them. They have literally cantered away into the distance and decided to battle between themselves. But it's looking more likely that the battle is going to be between Jaden Teen and Macaulay Bishop for the win. But never count out Tommy van der Stroys. As always, if there's a will, Tommy will find a way. And so will the two in front of him, if they were in the same position that he is at the moment. But it's based on pace now. It's full throttle. It's push it to the limit right up until the checkered. You know, every bit of energy, mentally and physically, you will expend all of it. And 2.3 of a second separate Jaden Teen and Macaulay Bishop. Now, what does Bishop have in his back pocket? Does he have a surprise for the Flying Dutchman in front of him? Nearly 2 wheels on the grass there. Uncharacteristic from Macaulay Bishop. The grass is wet. There are puddles in some of the little divots just off of the tarmac, the white lines on the tarmac. Very, very lucky not for the kart to get caught into it and one of the wheels ending up spinning the kart around. Next time around, we go on to not only the penultimate lap of this race, but we also go on to the penultimate lap of this year's BNL Karting Series kickoff here at the Home of Champions. They cross the line with 11 seconds to go. Jaden Teen leading by 3.5 of a second. Bishop, P2. Van der Stroys, P3. Ubben, 4th. Radenkovic, Kirstens, Herboz, Mika van der Pavet, Robbie Stordeur and Freddie Ingram. Robbie Stordeur has moved up 17 places. So it's going to come down to the final lap. It's going to be about who is going to put it on the line. Who wants it the most? Who wants the victory? Through into turn 10. All three very neatly getting through and coming out of that corner. But it's going to be the last 1,360 metres to decide our senior Rotax kickoff champion. Teen drags us on to the final lap, kicking and screaming. Ahead of Macaulay Bishop, who closes up in the braking zone at turn 2. Now into 3. Van der Stroys is there or thereabouts. Half a second separate the top 3 as we head to turn 6 for the final time. Now they're going to be at full throttle. Tommy van der Stroys tries to get a little bit of aerodynamic efficiency by putting his head down, and he's closed right on in on Macaulay Bishop, heading through out of turn 7 into turn 8. Could this be the moment that Jaden Teen has been waiting for? That Macaulay Bishop, if he was close enough to him, he would go for the move and try and execute it fairly but firmly. One more corner remains, and Jaden Teen looks over his right shoulder out of the final corner. It's going to be BNL kickoff glory for Jaden Teen from the Netherlands by just under 0.2 of a second. And what's more, it's a Dan Holland Racing 1-2, and you can see the sigh of relief, the euphoria. Jaden Teen is the man. He's done the business. He got in the lead when it mattered the most, and he kept a hold of it. You know what? I'm going to have to say this. Not only Jaden Teen being the winner of the BNL kickoff for senior Rotax this year, but Macaulay Bishop and Tommy van der Stroys are very much as deserving as Jaden Teen, but there can only be one winner. Bishop second, van der Stroys rounds out the top three, and after 17 laps of racing, covered by 0.43 of a second, van der Stroys gets the fastest lap of the race as a little bit of a consolation prize. Sverre Ubben, Mateo Radenkovic, Mika van der Pavert, Lawrence Herboz, Wout Kirstens, Freddie Ingram, and Robbie Stordeur, the two biggest movers at the bottom part of the top 10, round out the top 10. Ralph van der Pavert, Sebastian Koch, Scott Westhovens, Tom Longois, Jori Schoens, Luca Thiel, Ava Anagnostiidis, Enzo Boll, Vincent van Kerkhoffen, and Jasper Leenerts round out the top 20. Alexandre Lemaire-Sicre will get a 5-second time penalty post-race for pushing, which will drop the French driver down to the 29th and final position of the drivers that finished the race. Along with that, we had Daniel Stel, 21st, Martin Gaiskens, Bram Plomp, Manolo Sendin, Kevin Navis, Puck Gubbles, Jake Bezelbeck, along with Dante Sima, Alexandre Lemaire-Sicre being the last of the 29 finishers. Adish Mehta representing Birlat Middle East in 30th, retiring on lap 9, along with Lloyd Hare, Baptiste Michadier, and Giorgio Markenstein, also unfortunately retiring on laps 6 and 4, respectively.